where they want to go, and life can get a little bit fidgety. But I support them in becoming more productive with their writing, and they experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. So our topic today is how to succeed step by step, constantly improving your own life. So basically, I chose this topic because success is something that basically I've been doing, improving my own life, and I thought it would be a good idea to actually discuss it as a topic. And what do you think about the topic, Carol Ann? And I know you've been doing the same as well. Although you improved
Absolutely.
yourself and tired yourself.
And I think it's, I love the topic because how do you succeed? And I love that it is step by step, and it is that constant improvement. That you need to take stock first of where you are and what is it that needs to improve in your life. What isn't actually working for you. And also look at all the tasks that you're doing that are unimportant, that actually drain your energy, because that is not improving your life. And that's something that I've been looking at just recently, become very aware of. And I hear many people say, how much time do you spend scrolling? You know, and is it actually a productive scrolling? Because somebody I was talking to the other day, she was saying that she scrolls through TikTok because she's listening for the music. And so if she hears some music that she wants, she saves it, and she'll then utilize it for her own little snippets, her own little productions and videos. So that's a productive scrolling. So is your scrolling productive? And I certainly know mine hasn't been. And I'm really aware of the energy drain. I would feel really tired, and I'm constantly aware of the time. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my goodness, half an hour has just gone by. So that's not going to improve my life. And I need to be aware of that. So the first step really is just to take stock and recognize that the way to improve it is look at what are those unimportant tasks that take up your time, your valuable time, because time you cannot get back again. So yeah, I love this. I'm really looking forward to hearing what comes up and which way the conversation goes.
Padmaja says, good evening, everyone. Just look down there when you're talking. I'm not sure if she's still there. She's saying, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you? We're all UK. Me and Carol Annie, we are UK. She's in India, and Dr. Biggett is in the US. You are in LA, Dr. Biggett, are you?
Yes, I am in LA. So we have a mini United Nations in here, which is always wonderful. Good evening over here in the US. It's early in the morning, Padmaja. And I love what you said, Carol, and it's very true to be very mindful in how you use your time. For me, to succeed step by step, this is something in the part of grief transformations to creating your life to a result that's even better. Something I teach as well, and I typically says I put everything in the 5 fingers method that I do, and to make it easier for people to follow and to make it easier for people when you remember, and then you'll be able to apply that on consistent basis. But to me, it's composed of a few steps, and we can discuss it separately one by one. But it's to the step by step to success is, the first is to know what it is, to have a clarity, to have what is success for you. Everybody has different definitions about success, even for the exact same thing. And then to decide that you're going to do it, because you might say, "Oh, this is what success," but if you like still uncertain, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So have clarity. What's two thumbs up? What's success for you? To decide, to point exactly where you want to go. And then, you have the middle finger to release, to let go of whatever that is still holding you back, and perhaps a grief from the past, history of failure still haunting you. And then this is in many culture, the ring finger is where we put love, like ring, wedding ring, and as well as the friendship ring and things like that, to remember that not to do this alone, to allow guidance from somebody who are able to help us. And then actually, believe it or not, your little pinkies to remind you to act, because every little act make a difference. Every little act make a difference. And then embrace everything with love and discipline and persistence. So that's in the nutshell from my system, one of my system. But we can discuss more of that, or not worry about that. But to me, that is like the kind of like the key to be able to continually improve ourselves. We kind of like do that, and then repeat and rinse and start over.
I love
Thank
it.
you
I
so
love it.
much, Dr. Biggett and Carol Ann. I like Carol Ann when she says scrolling on TikToks and being productive. Actually, during lockdown, my daughter and her friends, basically, they were actually making money through the videos on TikToks. And the problem is they were spending it. They were making selling like £200 a month. Honestly, yeah, like each as the individual and just spending at the same time. But sometimes if we were talking about it yesterday, that you have to is how you use your screen time. Was it Wednesday? Screen time when you are using basically being productive. That's what Carol Ann basically has just covered. And Dr. Biggett, basically you're putting step by step that whatever decisions you make to succeed, you have to embrace it. You have to have that joy. Who is not muted? Somebody is not muted. I can hear the feedback. Yeah, so basically what you're saying is important for us when we are creating success, to actually embrace what we're doing and at the same time enjoy it, because sometimes people start getting frustrated. For me, basically creating success is very, very important. These are the steps that I took. First, I had to work on my confidence. And I'm a musician. I played football, but people will think, oh, you already confident, you already feel very confident, you don't need to work on your confidence. But there were things that I couldn't do. It's like sometimes I go to a restaurant, somebody serves me hot chocolate if it's cold. I wouldn't like a confrontation. I'll drink it for the sake of not wanting to confront someone. I'll just drink it. And inside my head, I'm like, it is cold. Why would you give me a cold coffee? Don't you understand that I have paid for this coffee? I work very hard. All these voices in my head. So I had to basically, when I was using Paul McKenna's programs, these were the first things that do something that you'll be scared of. Go to a restaurant, let them serve food that is not cooked properly, and speak to the waiters. The approach them as a leader. If you want to be a leader, a good leader, approach people very polite and explain that the food is not right. You will like them to basically to take it back and make something nice that is cooked properly, that is hot. So the feelings, the language, how I speak, the body language is those things that I had to work on myself. And also, if you want to succeed, you have to be able to appreciate the decisions that you make, the choices that you make. Like Dr. Biggett was saying, you have to embrace it, because if you are going to expect someone else to like what you do, and if you yourself you don't like it, but you expect someone to give you compliment, it's not going to work. So you have to be able to, someone, a good leader, if you are seeking to succeed, you have to be the one that give yourself compliment. You have to have a mindset of learning to empower people. Then anything else comes with the energy that comes with it. So that's how one of the things that I had to take. And for me, it was a big step. And also speaking on stage. Trust me, when you're singing and speaking on stage is different. Speaking, it means I have to give you my energy. I have to focus on you. You have to basically, but when I'm singing, it's different. I can dance when I'm feeling like uncomfortable. I can dance. I can do all sorts of things to distract you. But when I'm speaking, it's different. There was something, a big challenge that I had to take to learn to basically to be a CEO in my own business to succeed. And it was a big challenge. So those are the things, just step by step, that you can take, basically doing things that you've never done before. Over to you, Carol Ann.
Yeah. Yes, I love what you're saying about working on your confidence, because it is important to, especially in that situation, to know your boundaries and not let people step over them, and to draw that line and say, well, no, this food isn't hot. This food isn't good enough. Send it back and be polite about it. And yes, it's took me a while, many years, but I'm much more confident now at saying, well, look, this isn't what I want. This isn't up to the standard I want. It's not hot enough, or it's not correct, and send it back. But there's a way of doing it, as you said, Namsa. There's a way of being polite. There's a way of not making them wrong or making them angry. It's just pointing out that it's not what you want. And actually, as the customer, I was always told when I worked in a shop, the customer's right. And it's just, you just have to then accept it and move on. So, but it's having that confidence to stand up for yourself. But you have to know yourself. You have to know what you will and you won't accept. And certainly, yeah, what's supposed to be a hot drink? Well, yes, needs to be hot. Cold drinks not doesn't cut the mustard, does it? Eh? But yeah, it's amazing how we will put up with something and we don't have to, because we don't want to make a fuss. We don't want to make a fuss with, oh, can't do that. Just stand in your own power. Can you see the difference? If you're like this, then the response you'll get will be that they'll take no notice of you. They won't listen to you, and that's where the argument will come. Whereas if you stand in your own power, have that confidence, look them in the eye, smile, and just explain. And it's more than likely you will succeed, but it does take that working on your inner confidence. Doing something each day. I think what you were saying, Dr. Pajit, I love those points. But certainly release, let go of the past. And so saying, just let go of things that don't work for you. Don't live in the past. Live in the present. And it's not about living in the future. Yes, create some goals. Say what it is you want, but don't live out there. I did that for a long time. And I've ended up, those dreams never came to fruition because things changed in the present. that meant that those dreams could never ever take place because it involved me still being married to somebody. And when that marriage fell apart, well, those dreams were no longer available. So don't live out there. Think about them, plan, just create them as a vision, put them out there, but live in the present and be here right now and take step by step. And I know that this is something I was talking about today. I've done a writing challenge this week. And what I was talking about today was actually creating a writing practice. And it is about just being consistent with your writing. And something that Reed Tracy, the CEO of Hay House, says is that you need to write on a daily basis. But you don't need to, to spend hours, even if you just wrote for 7 minutes a day. It's creating that writing practice. So work on that, and that's what has you succeed, because it is bit by bit by bit. And sometimes your bits may be small, because I know that's where I'm at, and at times I'm making myself wrong because I seem to be doing it bit by bit, but for me they're little bits, and I'm seeing other people who are doing bigger bits, and therefore they're succeeding more quickly than I am. As I said to my grandson the other day, because he was comparing himself to the other students in his class and putting himself down, and I said to him, compare to despair. And he looked at me and I said, do you get it? Do you understand? And we broke it down. He said, stop comparing yourself to someone else. The only thing you should be comparing yourself with is your progress. How much progress you've made. How much improvement have you made? Comparing yourself to other people leads to despair. So stop that and just look at your own progress. Acknowledge how far you've come, or how small or how big. It doesn't matter. The smallest bit of progress is progress. And if you continue to do that over time, that certainly builds up and makes a huge difference. So just, give yourself a compliment. That's what I heard you say, Namsa. Compliment yourself rather than keep putting yourself down or criticizing yourself, because that again is taking away your energy. It's going to hold you back. Compliment yourself, acknowledge what you've done. And this was something I got my grandson to do, because he was saying, "Oh, I'm not smart. I'm not smart. Everyone else is smarter than me. You're smart. Yeah, you're smart, Nan." And I'm good. But what do you mean by smart? And then we broke that down, and I realized he didn't seem to think that I had any challenges, that things came to me really easily. I went, okay, so I told him my challenges. So I then got him to just say, okay, everyone is smart, including me, and just massaging around his ears to do it. It's a brain gym activity, just so that it could hear it and focus more clearly. And I got him to say that. So recognize where you're maybe putting yourself down. I'm not smart enough. I'm not quick enough. I'm not clever enough. Whatever it is. And transform that conversation completely. What do you think, Dr. Bashir?
I think it's definitely to be important to be able to look inside and like you said, to transform your internal conversations. I also like actually what Numsa says earlier, the business of success. People, it's kind of funny. Sometimes we say, oh, we want to be successful, but then we very casual. And treating it casually might look like we say we want to be successful, but then we keep telling ourselves, well, you're too stupid. You're telling yourself you're too stupid. Oh, you would never succeed, or you all this other thing. And then we never even pay attention to back to the little finger, the little actions, the little things that you do, including what you're telling yourself, well, not just an external action, but it's an internal action, right? And so that's like it, and those little things. It's there is a saying, the little things, the one that make the big difference. And if you are in business, would you, for instance, build a nice shelf and then you smear it with dirt on a daily basis, which is basically analogical, metaphorically, it's kind of like the way you do if you build a nice image about what's the success going to be, this is where I'm going to be then, and so on. And then if on daily basis, or some people, it's even more than daily basis, multiple times a day, you like, well, this is impossible. I'm not good enough. I can. Then it's kind of like throwing dirt or something to this image that you have. Now, back to the business part of thing, I say, even now imagine this is a business. If you have a business, if this is your business and your life depend on it, kind of like, okay, this is a business. If you want to pay bill, you got to succeed on that. And no, there's no options of government support. And then what would you do? Would you have the ultimate discipline? Would you then discipline yourself and say, okay, all right, stop throwing that dirt in there. Whatever that causing me of throwing that dirt, I better figure out why I'm acting that way. Which is then back to the third finger, kind of like what here at least in the U.S. what we use it for, like, and kind of let go and things that we don't want anymore, and then release that so that you not keep on self sabotaging you, yeah, because that's basically what you do. If you have a vision, an idea where you want to be, and then you keep smearing dirt on it, you self sabotaging, and then like you said, Carol, and actually focus and just focus on where you want to be and where you want to go, and decide that you're going to stick with that and point toward that direction, taking little step at a time. And so I love that. I love those both of those points on how, make it a business, make it serious, make it discipline. And what do you do, Numsa, Carolines, to help you to have more discipline?
To help myself to have what, sorry?
To be more disciplined.
What do I do to be more disciplined? Basically, what helps me to be disciplined is to remind me where I need to be and the consequences of not following basically my principles to take me there to get there. And also, for me to be disciplined, I have to have someone like my coach helps me to be disciplined, and I have accountability partners. Dr. Biggett, you are my accountability partner, and which I have not updated what I'm doing at the moment, but I'm just gonna keep doing. I update you when I've got achieved the things that I'm doing. So that helps me, because when I think of you, I'm thinking, oh, she's a very productive person. So if I don't do what I said I'm going to do, she's not going to be very happy with me. So those are the things that I do to be disciplined. And also, Carol Ann, you spoke about compare to despair. I don't compare myself with anybody. I used to. 10 years ago, I used to compare myself, but I realized that I was stealing my joy by comparing my life with somebody else. So I don't do that anymore. I embrace who I am, as Dr. Biggett said from the beginning, and I enjoy the process of me being unique. My uniqueness is basically very important, very special. And Dr. Biggett, you touched about basically talking yourself out of your destination by telling yourself you're stupid, you're this. Words are very, very powerful. And yesterday I was basically listening to basically someone talking about how powerful our words are. And our words, basically, they are engine, they are the driver of our seat, our success. And this morning and last night, I was talking to my bank account. Basically, words can do anything. I was talking to my bank cards and telling my bank cards, because I'm manifesting for success, I'm telling my bank cards to disobey the poverty, to disobey anything that any energy. Basically, you can talk to anything. Your words are very, very powerful. I was talking to my identity, telling my identity to disobey the enemy, to disobey bad energy, and basically instructing, talking to the house. And I was talking to everything when I realized, when this man was explaining how our words are engine. It was like, your words, how you speak, your words will take you to where you need to go. If you speak negative, then you're not going to get the success. If you speak positive, you have to speak how you want to, what you want, and how you're going to get there. And even when you don't feel like it, when things don't make sense. So for me, basically, like what you are saying, Dr. Bikere and Carol Annie, if I put it, don't compare, and I put the words calling yourself stupid and this and self-sabotaging, that means I have to work on my character, and I have to work on my attitude. I have to work on the trusting myself and trusting my decision and trusting the process, that I will get there wherever I need to go without comparing myself. Even if things get tough, I have to look at myself as unique, as an individual, without making myself wrong. Like Carol Addis, her favorite word, that whatever you do in life, don't make yourself wrong, and trust that there's someone guiding me through. God is guiding me through, or whatever your beliefs that might be, universe. Just trust the process and trust your decision. And I think those are the steps to succeed. And and undecisive. Make a decision. If there's an opportunity that is presented to you, evaluate that opportunity and make a decision. Don't say, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to do this. Don't miss out on any opportunities, because we do that because of fear. We fear that if we make a decision, what the consequences will be for tomorrow. So what we need to do is basically just, if opportunities are presented to us, and just take that opportunity, and tomorrow work itself out. No one knows. There's a guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. Today, there's a guarantee that I'm going to pull through the day, but no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. So just take a decision and stand in your power, like Carol Anna was saying, and just go for what you want. Those are the steps that basically I keep taking myself personally. And writing goals is very, very important to write goals. And like what we were talking about before we came online. Writing goals is very, very important. It gives you a direction and an idea of where you're going. Over to you, Carol Ann.
Totally. And I love your phrase when I said compared to despair, and you said you realized it was stealing your joy. A beautiful phrase. It's so illuminating, and you really get it steals your joy. So I've written that down because I love that phrase. And so do you want your joy to be stolen? Would you want to keep your joy and maintain it and increase it? And your question, Dr. Bajit, I love it. And I've been thinking, it's like, I was only having this conversation the other day with someone. We were talking about discipline and consistency. And these things are key to you succeeding. And what do I do to be more disciplined? That's a really good question, because I don't know. And I think I'm going to have to think on that. I think it's recognizing where my discipline drops off, where I stop being disciplined, and then recognize the impact it's had on me, and then do whatever I need to do to pick up that discipline again. Because sometimes it's so easy once you've stopped with whatever action you're taking, and you're being disciplined about taking, it's not always easy to pick it up again, because it sort of slides by the wayside. And so it's recognizing where that discipline has gone, what action you stop taking on a regular basis, and recognize what impact it's having on you. Is it an impact that's actually detrimental to you, or is it an impact that's actually serving you? If it is something that maybe you need to stop, fair enough. But what have you put in place that would then benefit you? And it is then creating that as a discipline. So for me, I think there are places where I could be much more disciplined, and I'm working on it. And I think this is the whole key. It's not about thinking, oh gosh, I'm a failure, I'm not disciplined, I'm not good enough. It's recognizing that feedback. Great question. And the feedback here for me is, yes, there are places I'm not disciplined. And it's waking me up to that. And this is where having a conversation with someone who can just ask those questions can just wake you up. And recognize that the feedback, it's not about failure. There is actually no such thing as failure or being a failure. It's about failing to accomplish what you set out to do. It's failing to take the action that you said you were going to do. That's all. It doesn't mean that you are a failure. So recognize maybe where you collapse that, which then holds you back as well. So so I'm going to keep working on that discipline, because I recognize there are places I certainly need to be more disciplined. And I think, yeah, it ties in with where I've stopped dreaming. And I've created the theme for this month of daring to dream. So really get back in touch with what are my dreams, and dare to dream again. And what was it that had them be squashed, or I stopped dreaming, and then have that more disciplined approach to working on myself. Because I used to be really very disciplined in the beginning, working on whatever was in the way, what blocks were there. I had my goal, I had my vision. And then it's like I feel I've gone, oh, there's a slump. And that's okay. As I say, there's nothing wrong. It's just recognizing it. But I've stayed here too long now. So I need to shake it off, get up. Right, I need to be much more disciplined in doing the work that I know I need to do, the inner work, and picking up the other work that I'm not doing, that I'm putting off doing. And so that creating goals, being specific with your goals, having that clear vision. Words can be very powerful. And how are you going to use your words to create your vision? It is about being more specific. And if you're saying that you want lots more time, you want lots more money, well, how much time do you want? How much money do you want? And by when do you want it? And what do you want it for? What are you going to do with it? You know, and what's the reason that you want to do that with it? Give it a purpose. And then all of a sudden it comes to life. There's a purpose there. And the specificity, get my tongue and my mind around that word, is there as well. When you have that specificity, the universe knows. It goes, okay, that's what you want. That's when you want it by, and this is what you want it for. Got it. And then it's up to you to take the actions that will get you there, that you're guided to take. And as you said, Nomsa, opportunities come up. Grab them, run with them. Take a look at them. Are they ones going to serve you? If they are, run with it. Because the universe will give you the opportunities. I heard a word the other day, because I use synchronicity quite a lot. Someone used serendipity. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful word. So I want to start bringing that into my vocabulary. I'm going to look it up and look at the difference between serendipity and synchronicity so that I really get clear on them. And that's one of the things that I'm aiming at doing, is growing my vocabulary and recognizing words that I do know but I don't use, and start to bring them in and use them, because we have such a rich language. So that's where I'm going to start being more disciplined, is expanding my vocabulary. So thank you for that question, Dr. Vajit. What's your answer to this? What do you do to be more disciplined?
Thank you, Caroline. My answer for this is actually a combination, to be more disciplined, a combination of a few things, which is in a very funny way, you and Nooms both approach it a little bit. And one more additions to that. But the first one is to have support. There are many studies shows that we are much more likely to do things if we have a support. Now, the support could be from accountability partner, particularly if you have partner that can inspire you. Like Nimsa says, I never noticed that until now. That a partner that's kind of like a little bit of on your side, by your side, or a little bit of step on you in particular way. Doesn't have to be everything. And so to have an accountability partner, to have a support in form of guidance, like you said, Nimsa. You have coaches, I have coaches, and so to do that, and then to have to have a support system. And as we grow, if we talk, depend on what you want to do. To allow support in other way too. Even if, let's say, a lot of people doesn't really think about it. Let's say you want to be stronger, right? Whether you want to be stronger by lifting weights, or you want to be stronger in a leaner way, which what I do is Pilates, you actually allow support. And over time, you allow more and more support. How? If you're lifting weights, you allow more and more weights. That weights is a support system to allow you to grow. Imagine if you said, I want to be stronger. I want to be able to lift 50 kilo. And then all you're willing to do is to have a 20 kilo thing. It's kind of much more difficult for you to be lifting 50 kilo, and now that you succeed doing that. So to allow support in that aspect too, there are people whom I met and says, I want to be successful. I want to be successful in business. And I look at everything and said, how about if you allow some support, like, for a little assistant, even a virtual assistant. Oh, whoa, I want to be able to do everything myself. Well, that will be a little difficult. Some of us do have what many people call Lone Ranger syndrome, but it's like you would not go to the gym, or if you do Pilates, the Pilates uses spring. The same concept. If you always stay at the blue spring and refuse to add a spring on, you're not going to be stronger and leaner. And so allow support in accountability partner. For me, it's reminding, and that takes us to your point. Hi, Dr. Anita. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about how to succeed step by step, constant improvement. So please do share us about your tips and tools because you are a picture of success, Dr. Anita, with your new book too, Your Own Universe, which is super awesome book. And but the what I'm talking right now is actually three things that help me discipline. One is to allow support, and then the second is actually what you say, Caroline, to have the awareness of where you need to change things, where awareness when you needed support, when you can benefit from more support, and then the other part is the awareness to what we're doing moment to moment, but that's also where support can help. But like at the beginning, I remember when Numsas first gave me the honor to be accountability partner. She was much more consistent reporting because that's I think when we still kind of like going back and forth and back and forth, and I also was paying more attention. So like, oh, Numsa hasn't said anything for 2 days. Let's check where she is at, and now I know kind of Numsas can go on around, right? And so to have the awareness of kind of fine tuning, are we still driving in the lane that we want to be, or we start feeling to the side because we're distracted by whatever on the sidewalk or on the side street? And so to have the awareness when we want to be, are we pointing back to the so the support is back to my system, that's the ring finger. Are we pointing to the directions, which is the pointer finger of where we want to be, and then letting go of what not. For me, it's also being disciplined include letting go. Discipline in letting go because certain things just can be a little bit more tempting to hang on to, and that could be a real habit. This is kind of like the middle finger where you just flip away of what things that's no longer serving us. But certain things it could be a habit. Meaning, I used to have this habit for whatever reasons. I ate like practically half a bar of chocolate every day, and I'm grateful somehow, some way, doing all this. I stay nice and sip and slim, but also it wasn't particularly the best thing for my health. My idea of great healthy successful health, and so letting go what's no longer serving us. Yes, discipline and letting go what's no longer serving us, and this and then it could be a habit like that, but it could also be this discipline on letting go of thoughts, like you said, back to you what you said, Carol, and in the discipline of letting go of thoughts. Like, do we are you saying that all this and you're doing all that, but then deep in your heart you say, there's no way I'm gonna succeed. There's no way I'm gonna succeed. Or like you said earlier too, Carol, and it's like, oh, look at that other person. He's more successful. Oh my goodness, how is that? I can't go there, and all these things. And so how disciplined are you with your thoughts? Because our thoughts is what drive our action and our result. And so and if it's not something that, or maybe some of us not even aware where our thoughts like to go, is when you allow support, when you allow about accountability partner that's a little step ahead for you, or even better, allowing your coaches and support in that aspect, somebody who's been through the road and have the experience and the result that you want. So but that is my what's discipline to me. It's kind of like people think it's a one component. For me, it's a three component. It's still all intertwined together. But do you have an example, Numsa or Caroline, where you let go of something in the and result in allowing you to let in a more success? Or Dr. Anita, if you would like to type in perhaps your experience.
Thank, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. And hi, Dr. Anita. Yes, the discipline of letting go is very, very important. for me, basically, the things that I had to let go, there's some things within the business that I had to let go, like business tribe, that people that I connect with, and realizing that actually we are not helping each other to take each other where we need to go. We don't think the same. So I have had to let them go. And there's some decisions, like when it comes to advertising, where you try to advertise the system, it doesn't work how you want it, and then instead of dwelling on that, and then I had to let go of those system. I have had to let go of basically people and places as well. There are some people that I have met in life, and when you meet someone, when you have expectations, things never work according to what you expect. So I had to let go of expectations. When I meet people, I just go in with open eyes and live in the moment. I don't expect them to be what I expect it to be. I basically put my trust in God. I've basically let go of expecting things to basically for people to be the ones that are helping me. I basically put my trust in God. And I know if I put my trust in Him, He will bring people who help me as angels to basically to help me, like Carol Ann was saying, working on your discipline. There are some of you guys at Ngozi talk shows that I have been helping me to be disciplined, because I don't have the attitude of I am the CEO. For me, basically, I am Nomza, and that's how I see myself. Work is the part of it that comes with it, is the success is the joy. So you guys have been basically being part of me. Let go of control, basically. Being a control freak, I've never was a control freak and or perfectionist, but I knew I was heading that way. So I had to pray to God to let go of control and just be free, and meditate as well, so I can allow people to enter my life and help me. Because when you like to control, there's no room for improvement if you like to control. But when you let go of control, let go of expectation, that's when a good energy comes in, and you'll find good people. They enter your life and they make suggestions, and you are like, wow. And you're listening to them. Like I was talking to someone on LinkedIn, he was saying, oh, your profile cover is dim. You need to find someone to fix it for you. I was like, oh no, I did it deliberately. I'm working on my profile. Don't worry. And so it is nice sometimes to have people in your life that basically help you to dream. Like Carol Anna was saying, she's gonna basically dare to dream and try to dream again. But she's actually one of the people that she doesn't realize it, but she's one of the people that motivates me and goes to talk shows. Although she says that I'm gonna of sort of I need to be disciplined. For me, basically, she comes across as someone who is disciplined, because when I speak to her, I always get valuable information, and she always follow up as well, give me advice, and she'll come back and follow it up. Oh, did you manage to do this? Oh, yes, I did. So she's one of the people that when I say I'm going to do something, I'm like, oh, she's going to ask me, have I done it? So, and Amanda as well. Amanda pushes me as well. She'll say, I'm doing this week. And then she always sends me messages and say, I'm doing this week. That means I have to look at my goals and find something to do. And she's like, what are you working on? We could work on this. So she's always someone that brings ideas. Dr. Anita says discipline is let go and learning to trust instinct and intuition, knowing these are energies one with the universal energy. Yes, that is so true. You have to trust. For me, I trust God, and I trust that whatever I'm going through is going to help me to achieve that. And Dr. Biggett, you talk about support, allow support. to grow. You cannot grow without support. That is the most important thing, to allow support. And having awareness as well is very, very important. Those are the things that you've touched that are basically important when it comes to business, that you need to be aware of the journey where you're going. You need to be aware when things are not working. Be aware of basically your disciplines. Be aware of everything. Evaluate your business. This morning, basically, I spent all morning basically writing my roadmap for my business, basically where I need to go and how I'm gonna get there. So I spent that morning writing it down, and basically thinking about the action that I need to take for myself and the discipline, what I need to do. So those are the things that are basically you have to do. So over to you, Carol, and I think any words of encouragement, or do you want to comment anything before we go?
I'd just like to add to what you were saying, and answer Dr. Brigitte question about what do I let go of to let other things in. I think it's a great question there. There's just a quote, something I read this morning by Nicole Martins Ferreira. I know it's easier to just put on Netflix and turn off your brain after a work day, but the results you want to see come from keeping your brain turned on after hours, by outworking those around you. And when I read that, I'm thinking, oh, I do like to have a switch off time. Maybe I need to be a bit more disciplined in not having so much time of that downtime. Just sort of maybe reduce it a little bit. So let go of needing to have so much and reduce it. So that's something that's worth looking at. But letting go of excuses. All of those excuses for not doing what you said you're going to do, not achieving what you said you want to achieve. Let go of all those excuses and allow in reasons for actually taking those actions, reasons for succeeding. Make that shift. So what are the excuses that you're making that are stopping you from moving forward and achieving success? Let go of them. Put them in your hand and imagine just letting go. Write them down. Just write them down, acknowledge them all. Burn them. Bless them, burn them, let go of them. Something that symbolizes letting go. But then, because the universe, it doesn't like a void, if you're not careful, it will fill the space for you. You fill the space with reasons. So start writing reasons why for succeeding, for taking those actions that are there to take, and bring that space in and feel the difference in the energy. So, but also incorporate celebrating other people's success, and maybe recognize where you go, oh, they're successful, oh, they're more successful than I am, and putting yourself down. No, celebrate with them. So let go of that and bring in that reason for celebrating others, because that joy, that celebration, it comes back. There's something bigger that grows out of that, celebrating other people's success. But have your vision. I'm just drawn to say this one last thing by Helen Keller. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. So I just leave you with that. What about you, Dr. Brigitte? What would you like to leave them with?
Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. The only thing worse than being blind is to have with visions, and to remember that regardless of your age, I do weekly podcasts, and if you some of the persons that I interviewed this past week, If you look on my page, she is in her 70s. She's later in her 70s, and with her, it's like this is just a new chapter. This is a new opportunity to be thriving. So, regardless of your age, whether you are 17 or 77, if you're hearing this, know that my message would be yes, you are able to do this. That yes, you are able to succeed, and that in that start with the decisions, that clarity and the decisions. And then, of course, if you don't know yet where it is something that where you want to go, just like if you want here in the United States, you want to go from Los Angeles to New York, and you have no idea how to get there, that's when you allow support. But when you decide that you're going to succeed, and then you allow the support, whether it's a roadmap, whether it's a GPS, which will be even better, a guidance from a live person, or in whatever way that you will succeed. You just need to do it, do the steps, and you will definitely succeed in whatever it is that you would like to be able to succeed.
So much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget and Carol Ann. And Dr. Anita said, thank you, Carol Ann. And thank you, Dr. Anita. We appreciate you. And for me, basically, I will leave you with this. Basically, identify your biggest fears in life that are stopping you moving forward, and find someone professional to work with you. You can't have an excuse and say I don't have money, because there are some students who who are doing psychology degrees or master's degrees, and at the end of the year they look for people to help them basically with counseling and help them to achieve whatever goal they want to achieve. In return, basically they'll basically help you with counseling for free, and 10 session, which is 10 weeks. So you can't, and also you can go to your local GP, ask them to refer you to find a free someone professional that can help you for free if you have biggest fears in life. And there are some people that are charging reasonable price. At Ngozi talk shows, we have uh, laws of coaches from all walks of life. They give half an hour free consultation. Basically, you could go around all of them, 20 of them, getting free consultation, all of them, until you find the right one that you want to work with. Or if there is actually someone that goes to talk show that you really, really connect with them, basically don't waste time. You just connect with them and work with them. Because I work with these people, and they're actually the ones that are motivating me a lot. And so please just be part of our tribe and get involved with them, and don't hold back, because if you keep saying I need to get better at something, you're never gonna get better. I went on stage once. I found a coach, basically Desmond O'Connor, to help me with my business. And he told me that he's going to put me on stage. And I was like, I'm paying you money to actually help me with my business, and you're telling me that I need to speak about my business. And actually, I took his idea and I went on stage. For once, I hadn't been on stage. I went on stage doing music. I've never spoke like as a speaker. But when I went there, people liked my talk because I practiced what I wanted to say. And I went there on stage and I knew the business about love. I know love. I know my stuff. When I talk about love, I know what I'm talking about. So people basically connected with me, not because I was good, because I was basically talking about reality, the pain that people go through in life, and the solution, how we can help them moving forward. So just, you don't have to be excellent, you don't have to be perfect. That words don't exist. So if you have idea, or you want to write your book, Carol Ann is doing a book challenge, basically writing challenge. You can connect with her. And if you are writing your business, these days content costs a lot. I used to spend so much money basically writing business content. Like you want like 1,000 words or 3,000 words, you have to pay loads of money. But if you can have someone and training to do it yourself, why not? Connect with her. And Dr. Biggett is a grieving coach. If you have lost someone, loved ones, or during pandemic you've lost your job, grieving is not about losing a person. It's about losing things that we love personally. It could be a house, it could be a job, it could be business going wrong, it could be loved ones. Get in touch with her. She will help you to basically find that connection within your soul, your body, and spirit. So connect with her. If you're looking for love, of course, don't go further. You can come to me. So I will see you guys. We'll see you guys at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday. And we are here Monday to Friday. YouTube subscribers, please subscribe to our channel. And everyone, have a good weekend. We love you and God bless you.